Hi and welcome to the dead ball area. It's been a troubled start to the season for the Queensland Reds, and there would have been high expectations on the return of Quade Coopers to the starting lineup. A lengthy break due to injury meant his first starts against the Lions of Rebels were always going to be interesting, and we're going to have a look at some of the key components in his game, starting with attack. As an attacking force, there are few players in the world better than Cooper, and his one-on-one skills are simply outstanding. Early in the Lions game, he showed fantastic footwork to get past Dreyer and Coetzee before flipping a pass to slipper out the back. It's impressive skills from a guy straight back from injury, and importantly shows he's lost none of his confidence when it comes to taking defenders on. Later in the same game, Cooper's footwork is again front and centre as he steps his way through the chase and defence. Again, it's great skills. Cooper keeps the ball in two hands, and once he's offset the first defender, it's a case of maintaining his balance as he weaves his way through. He does this by shifting his body weight backwards and out of the contact point, allowing him to make those big steps around the players. It's pure backyard touch skills, and importantly it gets the Reds on the front foot. It all breaks down two phases later when Fainga drops a beautiful pass from Cooper, but if that had stuck they would have created a 2 versus 1. Cooper's showboating is great entertainment, but the thing the Reds have desperately lacked is halfbacks with the ability to control the tempo and pattern of the game. Against the Lions the phase play didn't really click, but that's not through lack of trying, and we get a look at the speed and structure Cooper can bring to the attack 10 minutes into the first half. The Reds go off the top at the line out, and Cooper brings it to the tackle line, delaying the pass until the last moment, where he sends Karevi into the midfield. Ganea takes over running the phases, and it becomes loose and lateral, at which point Cooper again brings it to the line and sends Fainga into the gap. Finally the move breaks down thanks to Glenn Jackson's deft hands, but I think we're seeing some urgency and focus that has been missing from the Reds attack for too long. Now in this clip we again see Cooper bring it to the line, delay his pass and whip the ball out the back door to Kurdrani. As the Reds recycle we can see Cooper organising his runners and telling them exactly what he wants, but it breaks down when Schatz reacts too late to another delayed pass. Straight away though we can see Cooper is trying to impose some genuine go forward structure, and it's only little errors that mean it breaks down. A week later and it's starting to flow nicely. We see Cooper running the attack right up on the tackle line, playing a 1 or 2 out flow pattern that moves the Rebels first left and then right until the break comes. It doesn't look like the Reds are doing much here, but they are patient, building pressure and importantly not forcing it. It's allowing teammates like Slipper and Horwell to get ahead of steam and carry hard and close to the tackler. Eventually they get in behind the Rebels, and 5 phases later Horwell crashes over for the try. Now for me the Reds look far more cohesive here than they have at any other stage this year, and I think a lot of that comes from Cooper's ability to bring the tackle line and pass late. Here we see Cooper and O'Connor combine as Cooper brings it to the line and gives a lovely no-look pass inside to O'Connor. The line's broken and it's just unlucky that O'Connor can't give the outside pass. The key here is that he has an inside and outside option, and that allows him to wait and pick his pass late. The move breaks down with a near intercept, but we can see straight away that Cooper's ability to bring it to the line and decide under pressure causes defences problems. And in this last clip, the line out is won against the throw, and the Reds move it quickly for O'Connor and Cooper. It all goes a bit loose, but once things start to settle down, the Reds decide to hit it up, and it's a superb carry from Browning to puncture the Lions' tackle line and make a good 18 metres or so. It's recycled nice and fast, and the speed of the ball through Cooper's hands is amazing. After the next recycle, the Reds rewind and we can see Cooper moves the Reds from one tramline to the other in 2 passes, moving the Lions' defence laterally so quickly that the defensive alignment is starting to bend as they chase the ball. It's a good steal by the Lions, but this shows how much speed Cooper's passing brings to the Reds' attack. His ability moves his team across the park in 2 passes. It's key to the Reds' game plan, and it's everything the Reds have been missing thus far. Now defence is Cooper's weakness, and he gets a lot of criticism as a defender, and a lot of it is justified. But as we see here, as with his attack, when faced with a simple yes-no decision, he tends to do the right thing and put the man down. The problem starts when he has to make decisions based around shutting down multiple options, and in that situation he tends to go for the scattergun technique and just rush out trying to hit someone. Here we see him break the line, which is fine, a lot of team run shooters, but he doesn't really get himself in a position to make an effective tackle, and even though he covers back, rather than getting himself back into the defensive line and making the extra man the Reds need, he hits the ruck from an offside position, taking him out of the game completely. A week later we can see more bad decision making in defence as he breaks ranks to get himself back out onto the flanks. Schatz has to step in and tell him not to leave space in the line. He turns and gets back into position, but he's then bumped off a 2-man tackle. It's good play by Schatz, who spots it straight away, but it's poor form from Cooper. The Reds understand that it's a fine balance though, and frequently take Cooper out of the front line, opting for O'Connor to step in as their defensive 10. Cooper then slots in at 11 or runs as an auxiliary 15. We can see here O'Connor lined up at 10, and as the game unfolds, the Lions box kick and Cooper comes into play as a 15. It's a poor catch and he follows it up with a disappointing cheap shot on Mini. So all in all, not a perfect return to Super Rugby for Cooper in his first 2 games, but certainly not awful. I think expecting anything else would be extremely naive, but I do think we saw some glimpses of the structure and control that Cooper can offer, and I think he comes out of these 2 games with a lot of positives. It's a real shame he's now injured for the rest of the Super 15s. It will have a huge impact on the Reds and their hopes of righting the apple cart. In regards to the Wallabies, we'll now need to see where he stands come the Rugby Championship. At present, I'd still have picked Foley or Tamura ahead of Cooper, but I felt from the Lions to the Rebels we saw him simplify his game a lot, and personally I've always felt Cooper was at his best when his decision-making options were simplified and essentially boiled down to do I pass or do I carry. I think when he follows that kind of game process he's almost unstoppable. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter.